is a Billionaires in Boxes production.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Billionaires in Boxes. I'm joined by the fabulous Marie Diamond.
Hello, it's so wonderful to be here with you, Phil, and everybody out there.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you here again, Marie. I mean, we were talking in what I call my virtual green room before, and as always, we've got into some very exciting subjects. And I always find myself like we have to stop ourselves talking so that we can get this on the show because we just
I know, right?
we start doing all this gold and go right. Should we do the show now?
Well, it will be interesting for people to hear what we've been talking about before, right?
Well, 100%. I mean, look, one of the reasons, it's always a pleasure to have you here, but one of the reasons that specifically today that you're here is we were talking off air about the Global Conscious Women's event that you're involved with. Now, we'll go into that in a little bit more detail now, if that's okay, but my understanding was that this was originally an in-person event. This was meant to be a large event that was taking place in London. Obviously, along with lots of other things, has been completely rocked by COVID. But I've been really impressed by how quickly they've mobilized and everybody's got together to go, actually, let's not let this get us down. Let's do something virtual. Let's do something remote and global that can empower women worldwide.
Yeah, when I had the idea to create Global Conscious Women Conference, as I also live part of my time in London, I was like, okay, we'll do it in London because there's a multicultural community of women there from all backgrounds and races. So they're like, okay, it's a perfect place to go global. And then, the COVID happened. And they're like, you know what, that's even more perfect. This is a blessing in disguise because now, I could perhaps, do between 200 and 1,000 women in the room, but now I can actually go worldwide and people can really be present from all different continents and backgrounds. Mm-hmm. And so we put it also in time so that both America, Europe, and Asia and Africa can be really together. And so that's super exciting to have everybody present and really go and listen and have deep conversations about, the future, right? What we are creating, but also to meditate together, to visualize together a global conscious world for women.
So join the Global Women's Summit 2020, which will be a beautiful and powerful virtual gathering of women and men around the world. And you'll be able to connect, to network, to learn, to gain the insight and the knowledge and the wisdom that you need to survive this, to thrive in this situation, to build your brand globally, to build your business, and to build yourself up. Because once we get over this crisis, we are going to show the world that we as women can do so much. And Global Women's Summit is going to give you everything you need to get that power and be successful in everything you do in life.
Well, we were talking earlier about, that you've actually found the uptake from male partners such as myself, who you work with, that have kind of really resonated with this. And I was explaining off air that the reason this really resonated with me was, we do a lot of work across Africa and India, as you know, traditionally environments that were very male dominated when it came to sort of business and entrepreneurship. And actually, that shouldn't be the case, and I believe it's exactly that. It's in the past, and this is today, and we've got something to build forward. So women who are listening to this, or female entrepreneurs who are listening to this, or even male counterparts that are thinking, maybe I should tell my female colleagues about this, what is it that they are looking to get out of this? What kind of speakers are they going to be listening to? How does this all come together?
So, the idea came that we are now in a new changing world, right? And like you said, this is a time for more women entrepreneurs to really become conscious that they're not by themselves. There is a group of other women out there that are trying to live a more conscious life, conscious business, conscious money making, conscious families, conscious relationships. And conscious, I mean by that, with intention, that you are not just doing things like on the go, but that everything you do has a deep intention of your heart, a deep intention of your spirit, but also to know that there are others out there that live like this, that think like this, that feel like this, that do business like this. And so when we come together, we would create a huge global conscious sisterhood, right? And the sisters have to come from all over the world. So what I did with that idea, I reached out to some of my sisters, right? So meaning these are women that for the last 20 years, I've been connecting with, like we are reaching out to each other, if it's personal or if it's business-wise. Mm-hmm. And these are women from different continents and different backgrounds and different races. So that I always say like, oh, I need some help. Hey, there is a place. And we always have the most amazing conversations and tools and things we're sharing. And I thought like, oh, if I only could have these conversations that everybody could listen in, and then have a conversation with the women that are online. It's so that we can do that together. And sometimes it's a moment of prayer, it's a moment of silence, a moment of meditation, it's a moment of deep conversations. Because when we share, right, where we are in our life in a conscious way, we open up new possibilities,
100%.
New energies. Right? And so I want to bring my, my inner circle of sisters, I call them, right? And bring them to the world and say, hey, what we are doing, why can we not do it all together? From there, I hope to create a global conscious women's movement in a way that people start doing that in local areas. Say, okay, we have a group of people, a group of women, and we bring in the younger generation, we bring in the older generation, and we just talk to each other like what helps us to live a better life and to create better business.
Yeah, I love that so much. And you know what? I mean, as you well know, because I'm smiling my head up, but it resonates a lot with me, that message, as you know, that a large part of what we do is teaching businesses and coaches how to spread their message via podcasting and how to do that.
Yes.
And a large part of that is exactly what you've just said. It's when you put amazing people in a room together, amazing things happen. But that room doesn't have to be a physical room. That can be a virtual room. And that's one of the joys of that I've certainly found with our network is meeting people and then being able to say, well, like we did off air, we'll use this very example. We'll talk about this at the end of the show, I'm sure, but you've got a fantastic new app that's out there that can empower a lot of people and help a lot of people. And I've just brought on a new partner to BiB, who is a fantastic automation expert that knows just how to reach out to people that want to hear that message and need to hear that message. So we're going to make that introduction. And on that call, there's going to be at least 3, if not 4 continents, let alone countries. And isn't that amazing? That's what global networking is all about. And I love that you've taken this and you've said, let's just, it's not just me. It's really powerful that I can call these people and have these conversations, but actually how amazing would it be if we could open this up to the world and we could share this and they could share their stories with us and our stories with them, and we all just enrich and grow as a result.
Yeah, I think that is exactly what this world is moving towards right now. And so, myself, I have, students and fans in more than 190 countries and all continents. And so the people I brought in are people that have that global and international reach already through their work, through their books, through their online programs, through movies that they have made. So it's actually bringing women that started, like everyone, right, with an idea, but made literally a global reach and perhaps even business-wise a global empire because of that. I don't like the word empire, but you know what I mean. It's like a global business networking energy. And so the whole point is that women and men today have all this power to do this. But I feel like sometimes amongst women, we need to create a little bit more connection.
Agreed.
And bring each other so that, I'm living in Europe and I'm born in Europe, but I love speaking to women in Africa. I love speaking to women in America, in Asia, in Russia, in Latin America, and see their view on things. And then come together really to say like, let's let's bring that consciousness that we all have, that new mindset, that heartfelt experience that we have. Let's share that and feel the connection. That's what we're doing today, events on the 20th and 21st of June. And I'm super excited because, first of all, I have my sisters with me, and I will open up and meet so many new global conscious sisters.
Well, do you know, one of the things I'd love to do to help you fuel this as a movement moving forward, I mean, and I hope that it's okay me volunteering this on the air, but it aligns with a passion that I have that upsets me a little bit, if I'm honest, which is there are many coaches who do fantastic jobs across India and Africa, specifically, just looking at those two markets, male and female, but they don't have that international recognition. And in fact, on many occasions, they don't even have the local recognition. So what you find is that people who are looking for personal development or professional development inspiration find that they always have to look overseas for it. Now, whilst I love the idea of the global networking and everybody sharing together, it does make me sad that they have to look 9,000, 12,000 kilometers away for inspiration. And that there isn't somebody there that has that credibility on their door. So what I would love to do with that is as you grow this conscious movement, I'd love to add into that inner circle, if you will, some female African coaches and Indian coaches who can really empower and share their message as well, both domestically and across the world.
Well, this is a start, right? So it's the first online conference. So I first reached out to the women that have been supporting me, of course, over the years. And there are people from different backgrounds already. But I'm so excited. And just by doing this work already, I have already connected with so many women, also from Africa, from India, that have said, "Oh, Marie, will you continue this?" And I said, yes. And I hope to have literally the next conference, right, coming and continuing this conversation where I will meet other women, right, that have been doing over my 20 years and more of traveling. I met all these wonderful women, right? A lot of times it's the women from Europe, the women from America that are reaching out to other continents, but the way back is not always happening. And that is what needs to change, and that is why I'm really happy that, we have somebody from the Arab world on board, so we have people from the Latin American worlds board, so that these continents and, hope in the future also more the African community, Indian community, so that we can see, like, we all have such a beautiful wisdom, right, that we want to share. And it's a global wisdom. And so that wisdom needs to be shared. And so this is the start of it. So I will, it's really interesting because there's a flow happening.
Yeah, already.
I'm not in control of it.
Yeah.
So
isn't that beautiful though?
Holding it.
I love the description. So you're just a vessel holding it. That's a nicer way of saying what I've been talking about with BIB, to be honest. The way I've been describing Billionaires in Boxes is it was originally my idea. Now it's evolved into something I never even could have dreamt of. There are so many moving parts and incredible people in association, and it's a strange thing to say, but I'm sure you're going to resonate with me when I say this. It's a blessing, isn't it? It's like a privilege to be the person leading this thing.
This is Billionaires in Boxes, empowering 1 billion entrepreneurs, one podcast at a time.
Leading this thing.
It is a blessing, but at the same time, I don't feel like as a woman, I want to see this is like a circle. So I'm like kind of in the center, seeing how things are moving. Right? Yes. It's not. Of course, I created the idea or co-created the idea with the universe because the idea came to me.
Yes.
Right. So, and then you're leading, but then after a while, you're not leading or kind of being part of the circle. And sometimes you're in the center, sometimes you're in the circle, and you're like, oh, this is going on, and all this wonderful miracles are happening, like being on your show. And like I said, young men that are having podcasts, that have networks, have been coming to me not so much only women, but just young men that say like, oh, we need to interview about this. This is so exciting. We want to share that with the women of our network. And that is already a miracle that I did not expect, to be honest.
No. Well, I love it. I mean, I said this to you off air, we're all about empowering 1 billion entrepreneurs. And I haven't said 1 billion male entrepreneurs. I want to empower 1 billion entrepreneurs. And we were saying about the positive affirmation earlier, and that actually, because the environment has been so male dominated for so long, I love that there are events that are just specifically aimed at empowering women to realize that was the past. This is now. There's an opportunity here to do something. And, don't let your own self-imposed restrictions be the reason that you don't achieve what you can achieve.
Correct. 25 years when I started this, I was the only woman in my country, Belgium, that is, Western country, that was a coach, that was a public speaker, a motivational speaker, that took, a lot of thousands of people coming to follow me and to connect with me. And the men were like, what is going on? I was the first 25 years ago. So I understand, when women in other places are like, I'm the first in my community to bring wisdom and to share, knowledge and to be doing business. I mean, literally, that was so unique even in Belgium, right? But it's a Western country. So in these 25 years, I've seen so much changes, and I've helped so many thousands of women to get to that point, to believe in themselves, right? To understand, like, hey, you can do that. You have it all. You can do it all. You can have a business and have a wonderful family like I have, with a wonderful husband and children, have amazing sisters, amazing friends like you, to really share the greatness that you have and that people are waiting for.
I love it. I love it so much, Maria. I really do. So what are the dates of the event? What I will do is I'll put a link in the description below, a link on the Billionaires in Boxes Facebook group, and we'll just stick it all over our social media for you there when we release this podcast as well. But what are the dates of the event, and how can people get involved?
Yes, so they actually can join us. There are 2 online days, so the 20th and the 21st of June 2020. There is a very strong time then, because it literally is a solstice time on the 21st. So the northern hemisphere, it's summer solstice, and the southern it's winter solstice. But there's actually a solar eclipse. It's called what they call a ring of fire, right?
So it's going to be a powerful few days.
That is a powerful time. A powerful time, especially this year, for women to go to a new level. So it's an energetic shift that women can make worldwide. Of course, men too, but it's more specific this for women on. And so what they will get is they will have different circles that we're doing. One will be a circle about money, right? Conscious money, to stay calm and peaceful in times that are thriving, like we have right now. Talking about conscious relationships, talking about conscious communication. So each time I bring some sisters together, they share a little bit their points of view, and then we open the conversation to everyone that's on the call. And of course, there is a private Facebook group so that the women can keep connecting and supporting each other.
Which is so important. I mean, I always say that I would highly recommend that now. In fact, it is connecting with the people that you go to these events with. And that's whether that's an in-person event or whether that's a digital event. I think so many people go to these events, they feel pumped up and they feel empowered. And then over the next few days, it starts to dwindle and drain because they're not surrounding themselves with other people who have that energy and that frequency.
Yes.
So I love
that is actually very, very powerful. And so I always do that. We always create very strong online circles, because that is where people meet friends or business partners or connections. So that is super, super important. And so we also will meditate together and pray together, because it's also the spiritual aspect and the heart aspect that we need to bring together. So this is online. So even if you cannot be present, all the recordings are right away in the online library, and you already even get free extra support in the online library. So you will be able to listen again and again and share even then with your sisters and your daughters and grandmothers through the online library that you have signed up for.
Is that it, Marie? Is that all you're doing? Oh, you're doing so, but it's so amazing. This is what I mean. It's like every time it's like, okay, so there's this and there's this. Oh, and actually we've got it all here for you as well. So if you need to go and do something and you can't be there for this bit, don't worry about missing it. Here it is. Share it with your loved ones. Share that love. I absolutely love this message. Marie, look, stick around until after the break. We'll be sharing this far and wide for you. It's such an important cause, and on behalf of lots of the people listening, I'm sure. Thank you so much for creating it or co-creating it with the universe. I'm sure that this will become such a phenomenal movement, both at this event and in the years to come. And I'm really pleased that we could help you with that. So stick around until after the break. And I have a few good choice questions for Marie regarding the projects that she gets involved with, because Marie always seems to pick the winners. So I'm quite keen to see how that happens. So stick around until after the break.
You're listening to Billionaires in Boxes, Africa's #1 entrepreneur broadcasting network.
Hello and welcome back to Billionaires in Boxes. I'm still blessed to be joined by Marie Diamond. Marie, you've been involved in some incredible films, incredible events, networking events, conferences, programs, books, you name it. You've been there and you've done that. I can't imagine that you're able to say yes to everything that's presented in front of you, because you must be seeing a number of opportunities each day.
Yes.
How do you decide where you invest your time and that you pour what you pour your being into?
Well, first of all, I always look at my vision. So my vision since I'm 15 is I am here to enlighten more than 500 million people. So that's always the first thing. When a project comes, I always say, well, is this going to help me to get to enlighten more than 500 million people? And what is enlightenment for me? It is raising the bar of the heart. It's like connecting with people in such a way that you can make a difference for them. You empower them, you give them more confidence. You feel like people are going to a next level of their beautiful existence on this planet. So that is the first thing I always check out. The second thing, I always look for the keyword of love.
Yes.
Because for me, everything needs to be done with love. And if that person is loving, that person is spreading love, if the communication is loving, it's like if there's a loving vibe, right, in meeting with somebody, and I'm like, okay, this is really good. Then the second part for me, or the third part for me, is like, do the people in these projects really are focusing, first of all, on making a huge impact?
Yes.
If their first focus is on making money, I'm always holding back.
Yep.
When the first focus is, if this is to make a positive impact and I can help their viewers or listeners to make a positive impact in their life, I'm in. I always believe when you focus on positive impact, that money will follow.
Yes.
And so if they first present, tell me, hey, this is a very big deal and you make so much money in this, then it's right away, for me personally, a red flag.
Yeah,
so sure. I always go first for, is there love? Do I make a difference? And is there a huge impact in a positive sense that I can make? These are my 3 key points that I look for.
I really love that. And if we may, can I just kind of cover one point as well, because you just touched on, because actually I think it would be really important for our listeners. I mean, it was quite profound. Everything you say is profound, which is why we need to go back and recover some stuff, I think. But that's not the first time I've heard that, actually, in terms of, if you chase the money, that's the wrong approach. You chase the value add, that you chase the how much you can enlighten somebody and empower somebody. And if your focus is on that, the money follows. And I feel it's the same with any business as well. It doesn't have to be, personal development, for example, or any kind of professional development. That you could work in real estate, or you could work in selling products or fashion products. If your aim is to give more joy, more love, more value add than the next supplier, the next designer, the next brand, the next real estate company, the next whatever, the money will follow, because so will the people. People will resonate with that message.
Yeah, because I believe in everything I do, that I put in my blessing of my heart, right? So I bless it, right? And so there are people on different levels of financial experience.
Yep.
And so that you need to give a lot for free. So I have a lot of free access. If it's on my YouTube channel, the new app I'm going to talk about, there's a lot of free access because sometimes that's where you are right now. You need it for free. But then there are also other levels that some people want to focus on. And I have like this little, I call it the Robin Hood energy.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of very, very successful celebrities that work with me personally, and Fortune 500 companies that work with me personally to help them. And I always think, well, they pay me already quite wonderful. So I make sure then, even for the event, that these are prices that are accessible,
Yes.
That people feel like, okay, this is doable. And if they can't, that there is also another level, so that there is where you first are. You have different levels of possibilities, but you make sure it's all there, right? But everything needs to be done with heart and with blessings, and knowing when I work, this is not about me, it's about you. I'm here for you.
I love that so much. I really do. So, and I think it's a really powerful piece of advice for anybody listening or watching this, isn't it? It's they'll have heard me say before, make more decisions with your heart and less with your head, because your head doesn't know any more than you do. But you've just summed that up perfectly. It's, if you're needing to make a decision on something, or you're needing to decide which way to take your business, or how you grow your business, or how you build your career, or whatever it is that you're trying to do, it's taking a moment to sit back and reflect how this feels in your heart, and whether or not this really gets you excited. That feeling. It's the feeling of, when you first fall in love with somebody and there's that excitement and you just can't get your heart rate to calm down. It's the same feeling that you get when you're doing something you're in flow with.
Correct.
I love that.
Totally agree on that. Totally.
I love it. I really, really do. So tell me about the app, because we've been excited to talk about this. We were talking about it off air.
Yes.
And it's awesome.
So I have a new app that came together, and it's actually to have everything I work on and the things I do. It's all available on one app. So the app is One and Done Plus, right? One and with double D, Done Plus. And you go on it, it's downloading for free. It's like a turquoise symbol with a white 8 in it. So it means infinite, right? And then you actually put as username, again, One and Done. So One and double D, right? Done. And then password Marie Diamond. And so they go in there, and then they have access to my podcast, to all my social media, to all my free access, and it's all in one app, so that literally you don't have to go to my YouTube and then to my Facebook. It's all present in one place, and information about what I'm doing. You get notifications about special deals, about moments of inspiration. So it's all present there. So you can find that there. And there's also a second free app. We have the Marie Diamond app, when people really want to know a little bit more about, meditation and how to set up their feng shui. Yeah. So that is a Marie Diamond app.
Well, I was going to say, have you seen there's a difference in my office? It looks completely different.
I have.
So I have completely feng shuied my office. I would like to pick it up and show you, but I'm attached to all kinds of wires, so I don't think that's a good idea. But I got my nice little library and bookshelf over there, plus my health and energy bit. And I'm sat in my inspiration corner. There's a South African flag. And over there's my map. So I'm constantly seeing the globe, because, as you know, I'm always thinking globally. So
but have you not seen so much opportunity to come to you?
It's just completely different. In fact, here's a really funny one for you. I can't show you this because I have to turn everything around. I have a jade plant on my windowsill now. That's currently basking up loads of light, and she's producing some wonderful energy and airing for the room. But look, the reason I'm saying this is the last conversation I had with Marie, we were talking about Feng Shui, and I was quite honest that I knew next to nothing about Feng Shui. Marie was kind enough to give me access to her app, which you can do as well, to go and look for your free energy numbers, get a report and which directions are important to you and what that looks like. Marie, I'm sure you won't mind me saying, you also have a fantastic video program where there are videos that are sent on a daily basis with inspirational videos and lessons there. And I'll tell you how powerful this is, because I love this stuff, as you know I do. So I will always kind of absorb this information. I adore it. My wife is rather selective about what she listens to and what she doesn't. She's also signed up. She's also now on your mailing list, and she's currently working her way through and has spent the last, I'm going to say 5 or 6 days throwing 10 to 20% of the stuff out of our house. We've completely rearranged the lounge. We've rearranged our bedroom. We've taken this very seriously, and as a result, feel phenomenal, and every day feels like a real blessing. I mean, conversations like this, and then I get to go and speak to my team, which is really even more inspirational. Then I get to speak to these incredible people who are entrepreneurs who've done amazing work through a charity called the African Entrepreneur Collective, who are based in Rwanda. We actually donate a portion of our proceeds to them from every show, but they specialize in helping refugee entrepreneurs set up, and we've got a call later on with some of their real success stories to talk about how they did it and what it looks like. So I absolutely love it, and I love that you pour your heart and soul into everything you do. I can really see that. It's always nice when somebody else says this about you rather than you, as I appreciate. But that's why I invited you back on, Marie. I love your energy. The app I think is a brilliant idea to have everything all in one place. What can we say? The event and the app are two things that I think can empower a lot of people's lives and help change the world and make it a much better place. And I truly mean that. I truly mean that. This event that's taking place on the 20th and the 21st, I think has the power to change a lot of lives, and the app as well. So, Marie, it's always a pleasure to have you here. You've already come back once, but I'm going to ask again. I'd love you to come back again at some point and speak with our audience.
I would love that.
I always adore having you here. And listen, let's keep in contact about the event. I'd tell you what we'd love to do, actually, if you're up for it. You and some of your sisters, I'd love to talk to them after the event about how they felt it went and the reach and all that kind of stuff. I think that would be wonderful.
That would be an amazing idea. So I will definitely talk about that. And
I love it.
So I would say for everyone that is listening in, thank you so much for being who you are, and be a source of inspiration for your family and your friends. And I'm sure Phil is supporting you in that in a wonderful way, which is Billionaires in Boxers.
Thank you so much, Marie. You're an absolute star. A pleasure to have you here, and what a lovely way to end the show. Thank you so much. Best of luck for the event. I'm sure it will be a huge success, and I look forward to speaking to you again very soon.
This is a Billionaires in Boxers production.